Hi everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel and blog. Today we have a card involved in a hop, a YouTube hop, an Instagram hop. So we're going to use this fun little digital stamp. It's from 7 Kids Crafts. We're going to use the Honeybee Radiating Circles and Old Spellbinders Standard Circle Small. And we're also going to use that uniquely creative sequin pack, which is called Tropical Sea. So these are the colours, around the wrong way, but these are the colours that we're going to be using for her hair, and they're going to be rotating through the card quite regularly. We're going to use them all. Normally I start with the skin because it's a very light area, but I was really having a day apparently, and I started with her hair, but we will come back to the skin very, very shortly. So 7 Kids Crafts store is an online store. They have lots of different stamp companies. Mama Elephant, Asperia, which is beautiful. Tonic Studios, Penny Black, lots of different Graphic 45. So heaps and heaps of different companies. She also has these digital images that we've used. Now there's quite a few people that are going to be involved in the hop. So jump over to Instagram and find the tag of hashtag Team Tiny under the Sea Hop. So we got up to my skin now. So I start with this unusual, I suppose it's an unusual colour that I start with, and then we come in and then you'll see that it will just sort of blend in and provide a really nice highlight. I think so anyway. So there is also a code that Kelly from 7 Kids Crafts has provided everyone. Link will be down below. It is case sensitive, but it is vacation with a capital V. And this is available until the 19th of July, and it's 20% off. Okay, so jump over there and support her and see all the cool little stamps and all the bits and pieces that she has in her store. So this little girl is quite sort of relatively tiny, but I'm still going to be a bit anal and put in all my little shadows, and especially for her skin, even with the little berries up at the top. We're going to put the shading in. You don't really have to, especially with the berries, but I'm just a bit crazy. So we're coming in. So I made her hair the green because why not? She's a mermaid. She's cute. And I thought I'm going to make her green. So what you need to remember, so I'm working from the darkest. Normally I would put my lightest colour down to map out my colouring, but in this case, she is relatively small. I've made her digital images. You can, of course, stretch, make them bigger, make them smaller to suit whatever you want. But I wanted her a little bit on the small side. So with her bun, Kelly has provided the lines, and to give it a more swish across to the side. So I'm following those lines and adding those shadows in, and just having flicks of the different colours. It's not perfectly blended. So onto her tail. So we've got the reds that were up there before. So the R59, R29, 27. And we're going to do a little bit of a rainbow going through. So she's got little, almost like little scales, but it's not full on scales, of course, but it's a little bit of scales. So I'm using the darker colour into the yellows now. I'm using the darker colour to keep that little bit of texture in, and then we're going to blend the reds down into, and then you're going to make this orange in between, which is going to be cool. And we'll put some of the darker colour back in for these little scales. Let's just call them scales. So I just signed to you then that it's the same greens as the top, but you're not going to know that. Welcome to my world. I will put random signs into my videos. And I will also talk in random signs too. Well, they're not random, they have a meaning, but not to you. So I've started down the back of the bottom of the tail just so she can, we have the darkest colours all through. And then we're going to blend up the green and go into the yellow with the lighter colour. So the greens that we've got, so we had yellow, we had Y19, Y17, Y13, and then we had G29, 17, 02 and 00. There you go. Oh, she looked cool. She's so cool. So our reds here are going to be the same reds, as I said, as her body. So the only real new colour that I brought in is going to be on the leaves, because I just wanted them to stand out that little bit different, but not be in your face, you know, hello, how are you, look at me, sort of thing. So we've added the extra colour of R20 because I just wanted that little bit lighter in them, in the flower and the tip of the flower sort of thing. So we've got the darker colour in the centre, and we've flicked out, we've just flicked little bits and pieces, the same as what we're doing here. Flicked out little bits and pieces and then blended over the top on the lighter area with the lighter colour, sorry. Our berries, don't worry about the shading. Really? You don't need it. See, a little bit of sun in there, but it's too fast to know. So I've sped this up a fair bit. So these are going to be our backgrounds, but they're also going to be our colour. Background will add a little bit more in, one more darker colour in. So we've got BG 78, 75 and 72. No, I don't think we rewind. I had BG 75, 72 and 10. So we're going to add a few more colours. Now I'm just going around my circle here, and we're going to go off screen. I'm going to, no, I forgot. Really good. This is really good. So I've marked the outside edge of my die just so I could see where it was going to come to. So we're going to trim off some of this in very short. Well, we're going to get through this side, and then the trim will come back, and off camera I will colour the rest of it. So we've added the BV 29, and we've got the BG 78 as well. And my BG 72 is getting a little bit light there. So I have actually just today bought a new refill for that. So I will be filling that up once this is all done. But we're just going to work this in and give it a nice blend. So generally speaking, you want to go, because I wanted it like a spotlight sort of thing coming into her with a lighter colour on in the inside. So generally I would work in semicircles, but because my pen was getting a little bit lighter and I wanted that softer edge right in the middle, I've done a little bit of flicking. There we go. She's all done. She looks a bit like a hot mess there, but she'll look good in a minute. So we're going to trim that off camera, and then I'm going to come back and find that I needed to add a little bit more. So I'm going around the edges with my dark colour just to not have that white in there. And I also decided that I cut off too much of, I went too far out with my darkest colour, my BV29. So we're just going to add a little bit more around the edges, and then she's going to be pretty much coloured in. So there's lots of little mermaids digital images, and that lots of different people on this hop have used. Some have used the ones with the eyes open, some of the ones with eyes closed. So we have this honeybee radiating circles, and I'm going to make a hot mess. But when you put the image over it, you're not going to see it at all. So we're using some Scotch 3M tape. Here in Australia, I don't know, I think this is necessarily the same as what the American ladies have. Because once it even remotely goes down, that sucker is stuck down well and truly. Bit of foam tape on the back. And we're just going to plaster the whole back and cover the whole back, because this stuff is not very thick at all. Now, because this foam is very, very sticky, once it remotely goes down, it's down. It's so strong. So I've peeled back the release tape just slightly, and I've got a bit of smush on it, just slightly, and once it's in position, I take the rest of it off. And that helps me just to make sure it's in a great spot. A couple little sequins around, just to frame her a little bit. And we're going to use some multi-matte medium to put those down. And I've got a Marvy jewel picker. And a couple of my sequins had little tag-alongs. See this one and the top one, did you see that before? He had a little bit of a tag-along. And so we're just going to remove him. He was a bit harder because he was already stuck down when I realised he was sitting a bit weird. We're going to use some Stickle, the Stardust, just around the berries, on the flowers and her tail. And then we're going to come in with some glossy accents, just for adding water. So that's pretty much going to be my card. So link will be down below for 7 Kids craft, 7 Kids Create. And so you'll be able to check her out and make sure 7 Kids Crafts, and make sure you get the code. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Talk to you later. Bye.